Hello, my name is Michael Tillinger, and I'm the founder of the newly formed Ubuntu Liberation Movement and political party in South Africa. This movement arose in 2005 out of my original philosophy on a whole new social structure that I called at the time contributionism, only to realize that virtually all ancient cultures have had similar systems that have been suppressed and lost to us all through capitalism, industrialization, modernization, and ultimately the greed of a handful of humans that want to rule the world. I would like to share with you the joy and simplicity and the beauty of Ubuntu, where people do not live divided in fear of each other, but rather live united and thrive in abundance on all levels of our society. All my life I've been appalled by the human suffering and misery that prevails on our beautiful planet. Suffering that seems to continue as if there were no solutions to the plight of humanity. And yet, in all our hearts, we all know that there are solutions, and that they are really simple. But somehow, our so-called leaders are not providing the solutions, but instead creating more confusion and misery. I remember as a young child being deeply affected by the suffering around me, wondering why there are poor people and rich people, why some people are homeless and hungry while others live it up in luxury. Well, that feeling has never left me personally, and I know that there are millions around the world who feel the same. In 2005, I had what could be described as an awakening experience. Like millions of people around the world, I began to realize that there had to be something more to this life than the strife and misery that most people experience on a daily basis. I began to look around for the reasons of the human misery and suffering, trying to find a simple solution to it all. It became very clear to me that humanity has become a deeply divided species, divided on every possible level we can imagine. Divided by country, by flag, by religion, education, where we live, what job we have, what car we drive, what clothes we wear, the brands we buy. The division is endless and far more severe than most of us could possibly realize. And most importantly, in our relentless quest for modernization, many of us have become separated from Mother Earth. It becomes obvious to me that this human division is in direct conflict with the laws of nature and the resonance of unity consciousness that seems to be the foundation for all of creation. Our division is also the main reason why so many of us live in perpetual fear. We fear everything: fear of death, fear of our neighbors, fear of the unknown, fear of cancer, fear of disease, fear of authority, and fear of losing our jobs. We seem to fear everything in our lives that should be joyful. So I studied the works of the great prophets and the teachers of the past, and I realized that they actually all try to teach us the same morals: to stand united, to love each other, and to honor each other, and to live in harmony with all of creation. In fact, these are the same values that we try to teach our children while growing up, right? But suddenly, at some mysterious moment in our lives, things change. We stop paying attention to those higher consciousness values, and we fall into the routine of life, become entangled in the struggle for survival. At this point, we realize that we need to earn this thing called money to be able to survive and to live on the very own planet that we were born on. How is it possible that we should need money to live on a planet that we were born on, our home? I realize that this is nothing more than pure slavery, and it has nothing to do with evolution or the natural order of things. This is indeed the great trap that has been set for us, but by whom, we need to ask. The answer is simple: by those who control the creation and the supply of money to every single one of us, the global banking elite that have taken the world hostage and made each and every one of us their slaves. We are caught up in a silent and relentless war against the common man, a silent war of economic slavery that has been so cleverly woven around us that most of us are not even aware of it. All of our natural resources are being mined and traded by multinational corporations that have more rights than human beings. We have simply become the slaves for the corporations. Our country and our planet is being raped and destroyed in the name of money, greed, and political control. Most of us don't even have the foggiest clue how it all works, how money is created, and how a small number of banking families keep us all enslaved, and how they completely rule our lives. These bankers are the masterminds behind the global economic system that rules the world without ever being questioned or challenged. A system that is designed to control and destroy everything that opposes it to ensure its own survival. But now that we know this, we can do the right thing and inform everyone about this injustice and do something about it. And so, millions of people are waking up to the silent war against humanity and are standing united for change all over the world. People of courage, vision, and enlightenment who know there is a better way ahead for humanity. The great masters of the past all had a simple message for us: to lead simple lives and enjoy life to the fullest while we are here in our physical bodies. After all, we are all immortal souls from the divine creator of all, having a physical experience on this earth. It is up to us to be happy or miserable. Personally, I choose love and happiness above all. I believe that this is the common thread that binds us all. Everybody wants to be loved and wants to be happy, but many of us do not know how to attain this state of bliss. The great masters taught us that material possessions and riches will not bring us happiness. And history has shown us that during great times of change, empires of the past have crumbled because of the greed of its leaders. The time for great change is upon us once again. It is up to us, the majority of the people of the world, to embrace these changes, not through violence and opposition, but through love and unity for all of humanity. Let us actively begin to spread the message of unity consciousness to all of humanity that will allow us to heal our division and change the misery of our human beings to abundance within a global community filled with love for each other and not fear of each other. Africa is recognized as the cradle of humankind, and it is in this birthplace of humanity that we find the solutions for our strife and the answers for a bright future, a bright light of hope and possibility for each and every one of us. In 2005, I called it contributionism, a new social structure where communities live in unity, providing for each other, looking after each other, where everyone contributes their God-given talents towards the greater benefit of all the people in their community. It's very, very simple. A global community where money is completely out of place and unnecessary because of the principles of unity consciousness that triumph and people that actually care and look out for each other. Most of our ancient cultures had a saying that if it's not good for everyone, it's no good at all. In Africa, they called it UBUNTU. This philosophy was shared by hundreds, if not thousands, of ancient cultures all over the world. It is on these fundamental beliefs of absolute equality, working together for a common purpose of abundance for all, in united communities that thrive on all levels of society, that the Ubuntu Party and the Ubuntu Liberation Movement was established. I called it the Ubuntu Contribution System, a natural order of things in total harmony with nature, our planet, and all of creation. This does not mean going back to the Dark Ages or living in caves devoid of technology, as some may think. In fact, it means completely the opposite. Abundance in all spheres of life beyond our wildest imagination. We simply cannot continue on the path we are on any longer. If we are to survive as a species, we have to discard all that is in conflict with our own survival. I would like to welcome you and share with you the joy of Ubuntu, a new social structure for a new world of unity consciousness and abundance on all levels of our lives. So I urge you to read and listen and view all the material available to you, to inform yourself as much as you can and join the Ubuntu movement. Remember that the answers to all our problems are really simple, But those who try to control us will constantly tell us that it is very complicated and that only money can solve our problems. We all know that this is a lie, because money does nothing. People do. People grow the food, they plant the seeds, they build the bridges and solve the mathematical equations, and people create the most beautiful works of art. People do everything in great spirit and joy when they are allowed to do so. Money is simply the obstacle that keeps us all from creating and thriving. Thank you for listening to this message, and I hope it resonates with you and gives you an insight into how simple things can be and how we can thrive as a species. And may the light of the Creator shine on all of humanity in our efforts to unite.